Sorry, I forgot the question.
How have your expectations
Changed. Welcome to another episode of In the Season, where we're all about growing
and glowing
in each season. I'm Zerida.
My name is Priscilla.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about the differences between dating in our 20s and in our 30s, how our expectations have changed, how our experience has changed, how our time is, you know how in your 20s you have so much time and then suddenly you have all these things to do. So that's what we're going to be exploring in this episode.
Yeah.
So Priscilla, I want to know how you think that your expectations have changed?
Yes, I am 100% certain that my experiences and my expectations have changed in my 30s.
How?
Because when I was in my 20s, I had not unrealistic, but I was still a bit in the Mills and Bones Disney World movie land,
Girl.
I thought I would meet a billionaire.
All of us, you're preaching to the choir.
Because in Mills and Bones, all the men were always extremely rich.
Yes,
so
rich, handsome.
Like a man who's dead, who's not a bit like. Why? So the expectations were really skewed and based out on what I had read, what I had been socialized to think.
Can you mention some specific?
Like one was about an extremely rich, an extremely rich, and in that, an extremely rich man. Well, now what I know is that of course an extremely rich man comes with their own perks and their own cons, because and also they also want to marry someone who's in their own income bracket. The chances of them marrying outside their income bracket is quite slim, simply because of the way the world is organized. For you to meet a billionaire, you have to roll in the billionaire circles. Clearly, then I don't have access to those circles.
So where would you meet him?
Exactly. It's by my head. No, please. Then also it was an idea of I was waiting for a man to come and save me, and we ride
into the sunset.
Because all the Mills and Bones that we're reading, a very, very muscular, athletic man's man would come and save this damsel in distress. And honestly, I was really waiting for a man to save me. So for me, I was always looking for a man who would come and fix my life, who'd buy me a house, take me abroad, like who would teach me the ways of the world. Like basically, he was to be my everything,
your hero,
and all. And like life would begin when he comes.
And at that point, what did you think your role in all of this was?
Just look pretty,
look beautiful,
and give him anything that he wants.
So that's what legs, at that point,
and
that's what you brought to the equation.
That's all that I brought to the question. Just be pretty and sit and wait for him to come and save me. And when he says we should be intimate, I'll be ready for him. As simple as that. And like that is it. Like it wasn't about bringing some ideas or being my authentic healthy self to him. No, it was just like
all you had the face card. That was all you needed.
Exactly, just my face card, and that's it. And I was like, what, I can't wait to fix my teeth, because at that time I was very insecure about my teeth. And I can't fix my teeth so I can look even prettier.
Yeah.
So that I can fit there. Prefer just sit and look pretty. That's it. Give back to kids. And
it's so funny you'd say that, because that's what most of us in our 20s, I'm sure it's not a foreign concept to the people who are watching. Most of us in our 20s, I remember there were certain things that you had to have to even, talk to me.
Yeah, definitely.
If you had no car, what business did you have talking to me? Please, why? Why were you talking to me? What were you going to pick me up in?
Exactly.
Right? Because I knew, like, we're going out on a date, you had to pick me up. What do you mean you're not picking me up? You know what I mean? There were certain things that, you had to spoil me. You had to spend money on me. So many things that were, and I remember an older person, I won't say who, but an older person telling me that if the person is on their feet, like walking, they have no car, of what business is that to you? Right? I remember somebody older sitting me down once and reminding me that you can't wait for another person to tick these boxes for you.
Exactly.
How about you be the rich man? And of course, in my 20s, that was absolutely silly, because you think I was born with this face.
For what?
To struggle.
Exactly, please.
Right? And I think, I don't know if it's movies or
it's
how
movies,
things... It's not just movies. There was a time, a woman, if you were beautiful, your life was sorted. Not many generations behind.
Yeah,
most of our grandparents, like our grandmothers, they served beauty. You know? You know what I mean? So we, unfortunately for us, life changed on us so quickly. Life waited for us to be grown up. I mean,
looking, we can still serve.
So facing the reality that actually, that's your face. Because I used to think to myself, so this whole face, surely someone should be flying me in a private jet somewhere, right? Okay. But reality is so different, and growing. You know how they say okula kulaba, okula kulaba. Do you feel like your expectations are different now?
I think they are now. I think the fact that then I was waiting for a man to save me, I expected a guy to come in and fix everything wrong about my life. Like if I'm sad, he'll be, I said that because automatic
solution.
If I have no money, automatic ATM, we withdraw. If I'm not happy, we withdraw joy. If like the man was, you get
withdraw joy.
Like everything we withdraw from the man, you know. And right now my expectations are very different, because now for me it's about partnership. It's not a one-sided. Honestly, if I'd gotten married then, it would have been a very one-sided marriage, to be honest, and God knew that. I needed to unlearn a lot. And I remember I've met some of my partners, some of the guys I was in talking stages with then. I met a guy who was a feminist back then, and he challenged me so much. He was like, this is not how things are, and I hated him. I was like, what do you mean? Men are supposed to take me out, to pay for my bills, to pay for everything. I was like, no, that's not how it is. And I was like, please, you're just a stingy man. Like you get.
I remember that.
Now, I wish I could go back and tell him, thank you for challenging me, because it helped me to unlearn. Now it's a partnership. I bring, he brings. It's not entirely 50-50. But I know that where he's lacking, I can step in.
You can work together.
So it's not a thing of I'm waiting for a man to give me my dream life. I am living my dream life. He is coming to join me as a partner, to complement you, my dream life.
And you complement him as well.
Exactly. And now the pressure on him has, like, I don't expect him to make me happy. You know, I don't put that burden on him. Like, no, it's my responsibility. He can come, yes, he can be a contributor to my happiness, but he is not
your
the
happiness.
Sole reason why I'm happy, you know. So even if we fight, I'll still be happy. Even if things are falling apart, I'll still be happy, you know. So I think that my expectations have changed. I don't view men as ATMs anymore. Withdraw, put in, withdraw. I mean, that has changed. I don't view men as ATMs anymore, and as people who are supposed to just come and solve all my problems.
Okay.
How about you?
I definitely know that you know, my partner is not. I hate the statement that you complete me. No, because I think that two people should come, two whole beings come consciously into a relationship, consciously, willingly. A happy relationship should be two whole beings. You know, choosing to be together and, you know, create a life together. So I'm definitely sure that my life, my expectations have changed in that way. When I was in my 20s, I think my only expectation of my partner was to spend money on me.
Exactly. I mean, all of us, please.
Right? And I do remember being in some really low quality experiences with people who had very big, very open wallets.
They were spending, but
the experience, even at the time, like looking back, I'm just like, what a waste of time, you know? But it was, at that time, it fit what I knew to be the thing, right? We go to Riders on Friday night, and this person has a bottomless, you know, you can order whatever you want to. And you know, the funny thing is, while that was your expectation in your 20s, your needs were also very few.
Exactly.
You know? Because honestly, how much can you drink or how much can you eat?
It's only too
You know
much,
what I mean?
yeah.
At that time, we are still partly dependent on your parents. You know, you still have, you know, an allowance from home. You're probably still staying at home. Your needs, my needs were not
You don't think
massive.
apartments,
So in
land.
hindsight, I'm even starting to think that perhaps even what I thought was big expenditure wasn't even really.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, but
yeah.
as I said, that conversation with that person in my life, an older woman who reminded me that, you know, you can be the rich woman.
Yeah.
You can be the rich man.
Yeah.
You
can
don't
be the
need
rich
to
man.
wait for somebody else to do all these things for you. What is it that you want?
Do it.
Travel.
Yeah, travel.
Get a job.
Exactly. Save up money.
Save up money, travel.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? You don't, so stop putting these burdens on your
another
partner,
person. Yeah,
because you can find a really good person
And then
who's not
disqualify
yet
them.
there. And I
Exactly.
remember them telling me that, see, these your fathers, uncles, whatever, they were not born
Like
with
that.
these bank accounts. You know, they worked towards them. So you're going to let go of a really great partner, someone who's good for you, just because they don't have a car yet, they are not taking you to Paris first class yet. You know what I mean? And but for me, I think what I found most empowering was that statement, you can be the rich man.
You can be the rich man. And I feel like...
And bring all those things to yourself.
Yeah.
So you stop burdening people's children.
Exactly. And also when you... and this is, I speak for myself. I feel like when I removed money from the list...
Your vision was clearer?
It was clearer. I started experiencing a much more quality relationships.
Yes.
Because now I was looking at the person, who they are on the inside, and not only what
they can give you,
yes.
but who are they?
Exactly.
How do they treat me?
Exactly.
You know, how do I enjoy myself with them?
You know, what is my experience with them? When I leave, how do I feel? You know, what do they support me? Because, you know, support is a very, very important thing for me. Do they belittle my dreams? And I realized that when I removed money, I started enjoying and meeting amazing men. Yeah. You know, and I was like, wait, they're actually amazing men. They may not have the money yet, but then again, do I really need it? Because I can actually afford all the things
you can
I want
do
for
all
myself.
these things for you, and there's nobody says. I know in our 20s, because of all the books and all the novels and all the movies that we watched, I don't know if it's just me, I'm sure it's not just me, who thought that when you're done with school, automatically you're going to, you know, have a job that pays I don't know what amount of money, or automatically going to be flying all over the world whenever you want to, you know.
Yeah.
Because growing up, they used to say, read your books, you get what you want.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that marrying of the two, the reality versus the dream, was a bit difficult. Right? So you keep thinking you're supposed to get these things instantly, which is what you then carry into your relationships. You start expecting, because remember, your dad used to do these things for you. You forget that your dad was a 60-year-old who has worked for 40 years. Right? Yeah. So this is what you know, that your partner pays for all these things, but you've not factored in the fact that, you know, your partner is not your father. And also, you don't know the dynamics in their relationship. And I feel like that what the movies and the books and our parents and whomever was telling us was trying to reinforce the patriarchy of a man is a provider. Yes. And so without him, you wait. You wait. You know. And then the assumption is that if a man is providing, then you must serve legs, you must take care of him, you must be at his beck and call. And I feel like now when you're able to reorganize those gender roles and say, look, if I can provide, if I can pitch in, he can pitch in at home. So then it becomes a situation that favors both of you, instead of one person bearing all the burden on one end and the other person not. So I feel that now in my 30s, I go into I'm a lot more sober. Definitely. Yeah, I'm not needy. Like I said, my love language changed. It used to be gifts for a long time. It is not gifts anymore. I can't be bothered. You can buy it, you may not buy it. I really can't be bothered because I can go into a shop and buy it myself. Right? Is it nice for my partner to buy me gifts?
Amazing.
Unprompted, you know, for him. There's nothing nicer than a person to go unprovoked and just buy you something that is so you. That just shows you that they listen to you. You know, they pay attention. He'll know that, you know, she doesn't wear gold, she wears only silver or white gold, you know, or platinum. She doesn't, like, you know what I mean? For him to know You've never said it, you've never had this
yeah,
discussion, but when this person goes and buys you something in exactly the tone you like, or you said that, you know, I like thinner pieces of jewelry, dainty, I don't like, you know, overt, whatever, you know, statement pieces, and then he goes and buys you something that's just for you. You know, it could be something as simple as flowers. A bouquet of flowers is not expensive, and he knows that she likes white roses. You know, or blue, whatever. And just to know that this person thinks about you. Now, that counts so much more than you going and opening your wallet and saying, spend whatever you want. You know?
I can give you an example of what you're talking about, of how thoughtful. So my current partner, I remember when I was away, he called me and said, oh, he was driving up country, and he called me and said, oh, by the way, I've seen your favorite cookies, the Java ginger cookies. Like, I've seen your favorite cookies and I've picked some for you. And do you know, that moved me so much.
Yeah, that is so beautiful.
You know, because I was like, I'm miles away, I'm coming home in the next 2 weeks, and this man thought about
he's been
me.
Thinking, he was on his journey, minding his business, and he was thinking about me.
You know, so for me, those are things that impress me. The thoughtfulness of my partner. Those are things that, it's not so much of how much money he has spent. Of course, I mean, I don't mind the lavish, exaggerated, you know, signs of love, but also the date, because life is lived in the day to day. It's not so much the one-off. It's the day-to-day moments that now captivate me more than when I was in my 20s. Like, I know my ex threw me a lavish birthday party at Metropole, did what do they call it, a painting of me. I was so impressed. Wanange, this man loves me. But yet the day-to-day of our experience wasn't really that wasn't good quality, you know it. But that one moment blew me away. I was all in tears. Looking back, I'm like, no.
I know. I remember a similar experience where an ex threw, they really went out of their way and threw this big, massive thing, and but they wrote a note to escort all the gifts and the big display of
affection.
But that note, I remember the words very well. It said, I know a girl whose eyes shine brighter than the moon. Do you know, an impersonal?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've always been a romantic at heart. Like, thoughtful gestures have always been, even while I've always liked grand things, thoughtful gestures. Like, I remember reading that card and feeling like this was not genuine.
It from somewhere.
Can you imagine someone who's like your partner,
like you can't think
saying when they were asked to write a card about you, and they wrote, I know a girl whose eyes shine brighter than the moon.
Really? Like really? Guys, let us do better, please.
Sweeter than sugar, I don't know, sweeter than honey, and it ended with that girl is you. No, oh my God, you guys.
Sweeter than sugar, sweeter than honey. Really?
More precious than the most precious jewels.
No, more
and that girl is you.
Oh Lord.
I remember just thinking, what?
Exactly, very impersonal. Like, of all the things he could write about you, of your experience and your journey together, that's all we could come up with.
Anyway.
Yeah. But I also think that I think that you're dating in your 20s versus you're dating in your 30s correlates with the kind of inner work that you have done. Because I feel like it's not the case for everyone. So if you've not done the inner work, your dating in your 20s can easily
turn into you're right. You're absolutely right.
30s.
Yeah, and on that note, do you think that dating in your 30s has it been harder to find a partner in your 30s?
It has. I won't even lie. It has. I feel like the standards are higher. I feel like the bullshit that forgive the language, but my bullshit meter is quite low. And not because I don't have tolerance, but because I'm so clear on what I can put up with and what I can't. And because of that, I feel like most men will say, you have kajanja, weraga, this and that. But I will not put up with certain things in my parties. And also it's because I have done the inner work.
Yeah, because you're clear on what you want and what you don't.
So it has been harder to find a partner that is willing to match my energy or that is willing to equally do the work that I have done. So yeah, it has been hard.
Yeah, I would think so too, because some things just won't do.
Some things
and
won't
yet,
just won't
I think in your 20s you're just like really hopeful.
Yeah.
you keep hoping, like you can see that situation is bad and this person is not, but you're just hopeful. I don't even know if you're hopeful that they will change.
You're hopeful they will change.
So I think, like in your 30s,
a certain level of naivety also in your 20s.
Yeah.
That
But as you get older, I think you start to see what has the ability to change and what doesn't. You know, you sort of learn which battles
to pick and
to fight and which ones you're just like, this one will never agree. Let's not waste each other's time.
But also I feel like in your 30s, you know how to ask the right questions than you did in your 20s.
Fair enough.
So I feel like on the first date, I can know. In my 30s now, I can read the man.
It's true.
I can read the man
sort of know how,
I'm like,
how your gut is. You're like, this is not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. So now, but in your 20s, you by that like 5th date, 6th, then like, hey, this will work. But now on your first date, a few questions here, you're like, this one, nah.
Yeah, those ones, you're on a date, your first date, and he's asking, and he's already telling you, when you become my wife, you will stop XYZ.
Please.
Red flag.
Knowing you, let's move. Yeah.
Absolute red flag.
Yeah.
What red flags do you see now? Are you able to see clearly now that you were not able to see in your 20s?
I think right now, I think I'm able to see a man who's masking pain, a man who's masking trauma, a man who's masking the potential of abuse than I did then.
That's true. I think definitely me too.
Because I feel like most men hide behind money, hide behind achievements, and yet they're extremely broken.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
So I think
you're
now I'm
so
able
right.
to see
and
through
the
that.
projection.
Exactly.
I think I am now able to shield from your projection. You know how in your 20s you are pick me.
Yeah.
I won't say that's true for every 20-year-old. Me in my 20s, I was a pick me. Right?
Yeah.
Looking for affirmation from this person, looking for validation from them. Right now, if you end up in an equation with this unhealed man who is projecting his trauma on you, it can be such a terrible equation. But now in your 30s, you're able to recognize that this is not about me. This behavior is not about me. This is you and your trauma, and I will not allow you to project your trauma on me. Yes, I remember meeting this amazing human being, but in his messaging, he would always, like, he doesn't know how to talk to people without putting them down because it elevates him. You know, successful man, he has all these achievements, all these things, but when you tell him about something you've done,
he'll be like,
there's a way he would
downplay.
But then, if I was in my 20s, I would have struggled harder
to show him that, look, I'm
to get his validation. But now that I'm older, I recognize that it's about him, not about me. Right? And so I opened up the conversation and we spoke about it and we realized that he's like, I was not affirmed. Growing up, so I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, and honestly, I think now in my 30s, in my 20s, honestly, I didn't think men had emotions.
That's true. I didn't think
men had emotions. I thought men were hard stones that they didn't care. But in my 30s, I realized men are actually extremely, not broken, not for every man, but there's such an inner child that is
toxic masculinity has done a number on them. So they have all these emotions that have nowhere to go.
Exactly. And now when you come into their lives, they all of a sudden don't know what to do. They're like, like, oh my God. So I'm more gracious towards them, and I always now I think try to open up to be a safe space.
Yes, to create that safe space.
So that, look, you can talk about these things. I may not be your girlfriend or anything, but just know that there is a space for you to explore these emotions and put them in the right direction. So I'm more gracious towards men these days than I was then. Yeah.
What's your thought on dating apps?
I'm pro dating apps. I have tried dating apps myself, and I have had an amazing experience. I've tried 2 dating apps. Okay, one was a dating site. I've tried Bumble. I've not tried Tinder because Tinder is a ghetto.
Yeah, everybody there, unsolicited dick pics.
But not necessarily. I have 2 friends of mine who have met their life partners on Tinder. they have been married for like 6-7 years now, 2 kids down the road, and they're extremely happy. So I think it depends. But personally, I've not tried Tinder because I was extremely biased, and after Tinder swindler, I was like, I'm out.
I think you probably just need to have like a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And things. It's difficult.
With
I
Tinder.
think Tinder in our Ugandan context is difficult.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much rubbish on there. There's
there.
just like people use it as a hookup site,
Yeah.
which is very sad though,
It is
because there are
sad.
people who are genuinely looking for
yeah.
a life partner. And you
Yeah.
know how our life is structured these days.
Yeah.
It's not quite as easy to meet people. You know what I mean? If let's say you go to work, come home, if you see, it might not be as easy to meet people.
Yeah.
So sometimes we meet people online. In
In
today's world, and it's
yeah.
perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah, perfectly
It's just
okay.
that I wish we could ask those pick people to get or find their own app and allow the people who are searching for partners to, you know, I was having this conversation with a few friends recently, and they said that why they like Bumble is
Bumble
because
is
the
really
woman
nice. It's
has
woman
the
founded.
deciding, you know, it sort of is woman,
Yeah.
whatever, which is great information to have.
Yeah, I love Bumble. I tried Bumble when I lived in Senegal, and I mean, I cannot. I've been accused of over talking about how Senegalese men are awesome by my man, so I will not say it again here. But baby, also awesome. But Senegalese men are also awesome. Anyway, so I tried Bumble when I was in Senegal and had an amazing time. I was very single at that time, and I went on a few dates here and there. I met I think I went on 3 dates. Amazing men, very well accomplished, very professional, well brought up. And I mean, I'm in touch with some of them now. Obviously, we are friends. And I think the dating online, there is a stigma. I don't understand why. But personally, I'm not opposed to the idea.
I think the stigma goes back to, you remember how you said earlier that that a woman coming out and saying, I want a partner, I want to be in a relationship, is associated with being desperate.
Exactly.
So people don't want to be seen as publicly saying, look, here I am, I am searching for a partner. It has a negative connotation in our society, which I think ties back to patriarchy.
It does.
You know, because we are supposed to be chosen.
Yeah, we're supposed to sit and
but
wait.
we're supposed to pretend we don't want.
Oh,
you know, you're
so
supposed to be minding your business. Yes.
Don't talk to me.
You're supposed to be minding your business,
And
looking down, and then he comes and selects you
out of the pool
and sweeps you off your feet. That's how it's supposed to
saves
work.
you, and you ride into the sunset.
Yeah. So any of this where a woman takes back her power and says, look.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it would be a good idea to have, I remember when we were in the early 2010s, I think it was 2010 or around there, the summer of, there used to be traffic light parties where you'd come to the party dressed as your relationship status.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if you were single and searching, you'd wear green. If you were single and
ready to
complicated, wait, orange. Then if you were in a relationship, you'd wear red. So it was sort of like, I think that would be a fun thing to host now for people who are, you know. If you're single and want to meet someone, let the greens one side.
Yeah, honestly, personally, I honestly think there's no harm and
there's
no
none.
shame.
There's no shame in wanting. That's how we were created. That's we are made as human beings. We're social beings innately. We're created for companionship. So it's a very normal human need, and there's no shame in admitting to it.
I mean, if you can come out and say I want a raise in my salary, why can't you come out and say I want a
partner? Yes, a healthy one.
A healthy partner. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's absolutely nothing.
Me, I love online. I've tried online dating. It wasn't successful for me, but I definitely don't have issues with it. Have you?
I have tried online date a long time ago though, because and I have two sides of me that fight in my head. I'm one of those who I keep thinking if I put my face on hey, and someone I am still
unlearning.
I'm still
unlearning.
unlearning.
I even went on a site called Christian Dating Online. I even went there. It was how long ago? I think I was
Priscilla,
in SA.
do you think it was easier for you because you were in a different country? Because if you put me in the middle of Dubai, I would happily join Tinder. I'd even put all my, best pictures. But here, I think we have a case of small town syndrome.
Yeah, in Kampala.
Because same faces you work with, same faces you know.
I think maybe because I didn't live here. I was a foreigner there. It was much easier for me, I guess. But also because it was a case of I was alone, as I'm looking to meet and mingle with people. It's an easier way. So I would meet, we'd go for drinks, we chat, we talk. I meet their friends.
Would you have done it here in Kampala?
I think I would. I want to think I would. I don't know. I guess we would never know.
Okay, but would there be you see how there would be hesitation,
because like, man, you bump into someone you know online, like a workmate or a
and they saw you in Abanonia, because Tinder might as well be Abanonia.
I know. And also because of I think what would hold me back is the stigma here. There's so much stigma. Like if I told someone I met this guy online, I'd be like, it would be a bit shady, you get. But yet in other countries there's people seem to be a bit more open about it, because like there's matchmaking and what, so they seem to be a bit more open than we are here. Here we're still a bit closed in. I
actually read something recently about a church, I think it's Deliverance Church in Makerere, that was starting a dating website.
I think that's a good idea.
But now people's concerns, I don't know where I heard it, but people's concerns, I think on the radio, and people's concerns were that should they charge?
They should charge a small fee.
So, and the reason why they were saying they should charge money so that you are in the dating pool that suits you, so that you're not in the same dating pool as your border guy. And then it was like a whole debate.
Yeah, then it becomes a classist.
It was like a whole debate, and anyway, I will leave that for now. But
I see how it would be a good added advantage for there to be a dating site, because I think that the way life is done now, like look at your life, you are meeting the same people that you've known for years. Have you met anyone out of your circle lately? It's quite slim.
So interestingly, I've met people, but in the most unexpected ways. Every time I've met someone who's not like from my normal circles, I'm out doing something that
you like.
Yes. Yeah. That I wouldn't ordinarily.
Yeah, but then should we leave it to chance?
No, I don't think. I think you should take control of your dating life. It's perfectly okay for you to do that.
Yeah, totally, me too.
It's perfectly okay for you to do that. Would you say that your taste in partners has changed?
My taste in partners, I think it has changed in terms of how they treat me and what they bring to the table. I hate that word, but that's it. That phrase, because it's been adulterated so many times.
It's like a buzzword.
Yeah, it's like a buzzword. But in terms of what they bring to the relationship, or what they're able to draw out of me, if I can say that. I think it has changed. I've always liked tall men. I still like tall men, tall, dark, and handsome. I'm helpless. But in terms of the qualities that I like, I am now not obsessed with money anymore. I'm a rich woman myself. Don't come and rob me. But I think that now I look more on the inside of the person, of is this person kind? Because the reality is sickness is real. Like, money is made today and goes tomorrow. So all those things are quite fickle. But for me now, my focus on things that a person can't plan in their adulthood, things that must have been taught when they were young: kindness, thoughtfulness, respect, good character, patience. Those are things you can't learn as a 40-year-old or 30-year-old person. It's very difficult.
With a lot of you can, but with much effort and much.
So for me now, that's what I really look at. Things like money, things like the physical, really can be changed, but things that can't change.
Character. I would say the same. I used to be very much about what's in your wallet and how do you look. Right? And I realized, it was small things that would disqualify you from me back then. I remember if you were my height or shorter, or one thing that was a real qualifying factor for me was I should be able to wear my highest heels and you're still taller than me. That was one. And I remember my mom asking me once that empire. You know, like if you want to wear your shoes, she'd tell me, if you want to wear your shoes, wear them.
Exactly.
You know. So it was that. I used to look at like height. I should be able to wear my highest pair of heels, and you're still taller than me. You know how some men will wear like jeans and then wear shoes, like leather shoes. That was a no for me. And that was a no for me.
Basically.
Yes. Black shoes, brown belt, or brown shoes, black belt was a no for me. It was basically, like you said, all of those things were so fickle. And so right now, listen, I don't care what you dress up like.
Yeah, because honestly, it can be changed, you know.
But even if it doesn't, because I also don't believe in entering a relationship
to change
you, right? If you're like, now the things that sweep me off my feet are kindness.
Oh, guys, let me tell you.
A person who's kind and fair, you guys. Character, you know what I mean? You know when you meet someone and you just watch him do his things and you just think, Bambi.
Yeah.
This creature of God.
Yeah.
Those are the things that took me off my feet now. A person who's considerate, a person who's kind.
Who's consistent.
Who's consistent. You know, where you, as women, we have I'll talk for myself. I have cycles, right? There's times in the month when I'm very emotional. You know, there's times when you need reassurance. There's times when, and you know, a man who is for every season, he's there. Right? He's just going, there'll be a time when hormones are hovering you left, right, and center, and he's going to hold you down and be like, babe. You know, and it doesn't faze him, because this is a normal part of, you know, those are the things that took me off my feet now. I don't care what shoes you're wearing, because they are for you.
Exactly.
If you woke up and picked those shoes out of the closet and you said, this will do.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that comes with age.
I think so.
You know, and I think what basically want to tell people who are girls who are younger than us, when I look back, I disqualified so many amazing men. I have no regrets, but I disqualified so many amazing men
over fickle
things, you know, based on they don't look a certain way, they don't speak a certain way. And in hindsight, I'm like, at the end of the day, when your child is crying at night, and you can't
are you going to be with the shoes?
You need a man who's kind and considerate, like, you know, babe, you've been working the whole, let me go, let me pick up the kid. You know, at the end of the day, when you're running late and you can't cook or whatever, you need a man who'll be like, you know what, babe, I'll go and like, I'll order something out. You don't need a man who'll say, you are the woman in this home, you must cook.
That reminds me.
You get,
There's a time in my past, in my 20s, when I remember having a terrible backache. Right? I don't know. I had a terrible backache. So at one point I was going to work in the morning. We were going to work, and I bent over, and then I couldn't get up from that position. The pain was excruciating. So I had to go down. It was easier to go to the floor than to get up. And then I pushed myself to the living room, and so he went to work. I stayed there on the floor. I couldn't move. I called my parents. My parents came over with food, whatever. Now, because I couldn't move, my parents brought food for breakfast, for lunch, and they also brought food that we would eat at dinner, because the man is going to come back from work and he's going to need food. So he came back from work and he found the takeaway packs. He didn't know that my parents were over. He found the takeaway packs and he was so mad because he had eaten takeaway that day. So he ate it, and it was for two. He ate it all and then went to bed, right? That was a tantrum. I knew my offense. I hadn't cooked. God. But I couldn't move. You were sick. I couldn't move, Priscilla. So now the next day on Saturday, I couldn't move still. So the maid came, you know, she didn't come to the bedroom, because she wouldn't come to the bedroom when we were in the bedroom. So she didn't come to the bedroom. I still couldn't move. I could move a bit better, but I couldn't move still. So the maid did her thing, whatever, and then he said, let's go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. The hospital told me that I had a tumor. Oh, no. They said they did tests the whole day, they couldn't find what was the cause of the so problem. Finally we went to one of the hospitals. They did as a last resort, they were just ordering tests. Then they did what's that, ultrasound, and then they said that my one ovary was 9 times bigger than the other, blah blah blah. Oh, then they said there was a mass, whatever. They have to operate.
No way.
guys, I was so scared. Imagine that. I was what, 25, 24?
That's so scary.
I was so scared, guys. I remember calling my sister Claire, who was in Ireland at the time. She was in tears. I remember speaking to my aunt Kim, who was in the UK at the time. She was like everyone. My parents were, we were all freaking out. We got home from the hospital and the man told me, what are you going to cook?
Guys, we don't eat looks, we don't kindness, character, consideration. Yo.
No, first in the hospital, as we were waiting for the results, he wasn't talking to me. He was giving me silent treatment. Why? Because on the Saturday, I hadn't cooked. Even Friday, I bought takeaway. Even Thursday, so he was like, he last ate a home cooked meal on Wednesday.
And that is his priority. I'm telling you.
Please note, at this point, we don't know if the mass is cancerous, if it is what
like
it was.
At this point, he should just be saying, you know what, babe, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just holding you. Like, come on, you're like, guys.
What are we going to eat? That day, I knew that Chendi Koe.
Yeah.
It was still the other. My dad died 4 days later, so.
Yeah, seriously. And I think for me, that's like you need, life comes
those
at
small
you.
Things. Yeah.
You need a man who is consistent, who's considerate, who's kind. Like those, for me, those are another things that sweep me off my feet. Not
Gucci shoes.
I mean, I can buy myself Gucci shoes. If it buys them, it's still
great,
nice.
Great,
yeah, it's still nice,
but it's not a qualifier for.
I will not divorce him for not having Gucci shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
absolutely. So what advice would you give someone in their 20s who's, looking to date?
Honestly, when I look back at my dating life in my 20s, I wish I had met an older woman who told me that not to focus on the fickle things in life. And I met amazing men in my 20s that I disqualified because of my own insecurities and my own fears that also are coming out of fickleness. I was like, because I was scared to be poor. So I was like, I can't marry a man who doesn't have money because what if I'm poor? But it should have been, I'm scared to be poor, let me work hard.
Yes.
Not let me marry a man who is rich only. You get?
Absolutely.
So I feel like what I would tell them is, one, acknowledge your own shame points and your own insecurities, because then most times you're choosing partners out of your own
from
fears
that point,
and insecurities. Because then that speaks to you louder. And then two, stop looking for sugar daddies in ordinary men.
Please.
The reality is that the way the economy in Uganda is made, there are few men who are in that income bracket that most of us want. I'm not saying don't marry a man who can provide, but also be realistic. But also lastly is focus on the things that cannot change. That is
character cannot be taken away.
Money can be taken away. Beauty can be taken away. Long legs, like
even health
things,
can go away, but character is who you are after all of that is gone.
So focus on that, because at the end of the day, when you are older, life really happens. Sickness is real. Childbirth is real. Like, life becomes real as you get older, and you need a man who is consistent, who can be a pillar, who won't just be a good face to Instagram and just go with to Paris, but a man who will hold you down when life comes at you.
I mean, even pandemics happen. Who knew that at some point we'd be stuck 6 weeks in the house?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Imagine being with that horrible person who spends money, who takes you to Paris at that point when planes were grounded and you couldn't go anywhere.
And if that's the only thing he's bringing to the table, then what?
The horror.
Yeah. So that's, for me, that's what I would say. What would you say?
I don't think I have anything to add, really.
Yeah.
My advice would definitely be character.
Exactly.
Character. The one thing nobody can take away from you. It's the one thing that stays when everything else goes away. So everything else comes. You can work for money. You can.
And the beauty is, we are now in a time where women have access. I mean, some of us have access. So you can actually work. Be the rich man. It's definitely the best advice I received in my 20s. Of course, it took me a while to actually listen. We all did.
It was available, but at some point you think you know better and whatever, but I'm glad that eventually I did get to see that it does change the trajectory of your whole dating life. You start to date better quality people. I'm not saying that rich people are bad people. No,
No,
absolutely
they're
not. If
amazing.
you get both in the same package, good for
By
you.
all means. By all means.
But the character,
Yeah,
character,
yeah.
character,
Character
character.
is most
Yeah,
important.
I think that will be
Yeah.
all for this episode.
Yeah.
As usual, if you like this episode, don't forget to like, share, comment, leave us a comment, and we'll see you
Exactly.
in the next episode.
Ciao.